Star Wars Battlefront 2 has smashed all of its limitations in the past few weeks, with record numbers on Steam, servers being overloaded, and record player counts on all platforms. The Battlefront 3 movement has been going hard. 200,000 supporters, you could say, with 1 million more well on the way. The unfortunate truth is, we are probably not going to see a Battlefront 3, at least anytime soon. All of this traction and support has been demolished by EA this past week, with yet another studio being shut down, further enforcing that EA are moving away from future licensed IP in the future.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Whilst this news is deflating, it got me thinking more about a future game and what it would look like, but also had me reflecting on what is causing people to enjoy Battlefront 2 right now. Upon reflection, there are some hard truths that we're going to have to accept, but also a great deal of positive sentiment, and I want to talk about that in today's video. There are a great many reasons I can see right now to why Battlefront 2 is doing so well. Great gameplay, it's incredibly fun, and a dedicated community of players that has been incredibly welcoming and has banded together to push the hype of the game in a hopeful attempt to convince EA, DICE and Lucasfilm to make Battlefront 3. So much so, it's sitting in the top 10 in both of the console storefronts, which is kind of nuts if you ask me. Seeing so much positivity is honestly refreshing in the current gaming climate, and I want to see more of this across all games, not even just Battlefront. Here's the thing, I truly believe the reason people are enjoying Battlefront 2 right now is because it's in its purest form, its best state, and the most enjoyable state in my opinion. The gameplay is incredibly fun, the loop of match to match is endless and addictive, and frankly it's got a very good quality bar that's set very high. And I know you're thinking right now, yeah, Jimbo, you're an EA shill, like you just want to be a Star Wars shill, let's stop glazing the game. I understand that Battlefront 2 isn't perfect. Do not underestimate what all great games get right. F-U-N. Fun. Battlefront 2 right now is just fun for new and returning players. That's the most important part. However, this is where we start to get into some hard truths about the current day version of a Battlefront 3 and what it would look like. A current day version would be littered with microtransactions in the store, especially in the hands of EA. We often forget that the entire progression system in Battlefront 2 was removed and reworked to what we have right now. In Battlefront 2's current state, it's kind of void of a lot of the current day live service elements that we see in a lot of games. Over-reliance on challenges, like a load of different progression things going on screen. So that's why I think many people are actually enjoying it more than what we have. There's no obligation to play outside of just having fun. But we can't deny that Battlefront 2 has caused lasting damage on the franchise, especially from its launch and across the industry as a whole. And would Battlefront 3 be any different? I don't think so. It's just kind of my best guess. What we end up doing is going down a rabbit hole of more questions. How would it be monetized? Would they hold back content? How would the live service elements be incorporated? How much would upper management interfere and stop the passion of the developers creating the best possible game? And we won't really get those answers because Battlefront 3 doesn't look likely from EA at this point. Considering EA is only making a little bit of money back on the game with these upticks of sales every so often, I don't really think the boards are looking at this and saying, yes, we should invest more into Battlefront in the future. And the only way, and I mean the only shot in the dark that we have to convince them, is if this level of hype and player count continues for many months to truly raise some eyebrows. As we all know, the only way to really raise EA's eyebrows is that they got to start making that top level cheddar. You see this happen a lot with multiplayer games as well, or at least live service games. They kind of live and die by the hype of their player counts, and I would say Battlefront 2 needs to have a 6 to 8 month period of 150k players across maybe all platforms, but even that's generous. As is the nature of the internet and the gaming space, hype dies, new games release, and people move on. It would take something truly special and monumental to see it maintain the current player base with no updates whatsoever. And unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be a possibility. I would love to be surprised though. Let's also not forget that Star Wars has had a pretty incredible showing in 2025. Andor Season 2, Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars Day, all within the space of a month. However, we don't know how Battlefront 2 would be performing if Star Wars wasn't doing so well, or when there wasn't anything to drive people towards the game for them to play. The same thing happened with both The Witcher show, with Fallout, with Edge Runners on Netflix. Hell, any TV adaptation or media outside of the game will drive people towards it. If Star Wars is doing good, then Battlefront is going to be doing good. I know this video may seem like I'm being quite negative or pessimistic. There has been some news that's come out that I'm very excited about, like the original dev team saying that how they would work on a Battlefront 3, how they would get the band back together and work on a Battlefront 2 update and then work on a Battlefront 3, and it would take them somewhere in the 3 to 5 year range. But I don't know whether or not that's going to be worth the investment, especially from EA, which is going to pose the question, if EA isn't making it, who would step up? Would it be Battlefront 3 by name, or would it be a new Star Wars shooter? Would it be a new studio, or would it be a current studio? What studio would you want? I kind of like the idea of Arrowhead potentially doing it, or having like an independent studio set up from the original devs with a collaboration of Lucasfilm to make the game and support it, or maybe like another big studio could take responsibility, but I don't really know. You could say when we're speculating all of this, it gives us a new hope at the moment for Battlefront 3. Yes, I definitely made that joke about Star Wars, but Battlefront 3 has to be made with passion. It has to feel the same or kind of be improved. For what it's worth, here's my idea of how they could make a Battlefront 3 work, and feel free to leave yours in the comment section. You would obviously need a story campaign, probably following a New Republic era character through a rebellion period as well, and maybe even doing something completely different, like in that period between episode 3 and episode 4, like the building of the rebellion. Maybe a kind of storytelling similar to the 501st in the original Battlefront 2. Visiting iconic battles as story beats, or making their own ones, like some really cool unique set pieces that they could add in. And then obviously they would need to have further offline modes. Galactic Conquest needs to be a thing, because Galactic Conquest was so good in the original game and we never really got to see it in Battlefront 2, at least EA's version. And then you can add in different characters from those eras. They can keep expanding on it. You could do both lobbies for couch co-op and solo play, or even online Galactic Conquest as a co-op mode. Could easily help you earn a whole bunch of XP, which would obviously go towards a battle pass, because this is just kind of a lock for most multiplayer live service games right now, especially if you want to fund the development or continue development of the game. And then you go into the online modes. This is just simple. You take all of the modes that we have in Battlefront 2, maybe even some of the ones from the original game, refresh them a little, or even add or evolve the elements of the core modes. It needs to be a blend of what we have now, but I would probably do away with the card system, maybe go down an unlock tree and have paths for each class potentially that you can specialize in. I don't know exactly what this looks like because I'm not a multiplayer developer, but hey, it's not on me to make it good. It's on whoever decides to make a Battlefront 3. And I think the most important aspect of Battlefront 3, if they were going to make it, has to be customization, because obviously there's going to be skins and icons and all this extra stuff that they can throw into the store, but it needs to be deeper at a base level of the game. Give us more race skins, more armor sets, especially for like the 501st or different legions, different color sets, more skins for heroes from different eras, more heroes. Make all of the cosmetic stuff unlockable in the game, and then you can add some cool ultimate skins in future updates that would probably end up being paid. Also, profile customization and cards. You know, fun Star Wars customization that a lot of people would probably want. Live service is unavoidable in a game like this, which is why I kind of have a solution to that as well. There will seemingly be an endless well of things that they can pull from to be able to do content. The first thing I can think of is adding maps into the game. Every time they do an update, they could do specific seasons around specific maps. For example, you could do a Rogue One season and have Scarif and Jeddah, and then go back to the Clone Wars era and add maps from the show that there was battles there that we didn't really get to see. there's a real potential here to add a lot of content, and we haven't even started talking about heroes yet. Imagine you do a Rogue One season, you add Cassian or K2, Kanan or Ahsoka, you do a Rebel season, Rex, for example. The list of names is endless, and adding extra outfits and skins into the cash store alongside some maybe unlockable ones, then you're going to basically be printing money. This is just a small selection of my ideas. Let me know yours. To end this video on a more positive note, the last couple of weeks playing Battlefront 2 has been so much fun, and I'm exploring so much more of the game that I originally did when I first played it. Playing with friends for 3 hours in Supremacy, playing with new and old friends that have never played the game before, even blasting AI in co-op. It feels wonderful to see lobbies filled and people raving about the game, and maybe one day we'll get a Battlefront 3, even if it feels unlikely right now. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Are we still going to be on that Battlefront 3 hype train? But thank you for watching the video. Hopefully it has been an enjoyable discussion to have. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you have enjoyed and want to see more content. And as always, this has been It's Jimbo. I'll see you guys next time.